day, good evening. Welcome to Chocolate TV episode 23. I thought we'd do a really quick chocolate and beverage tasting. I thought we taste 3 different chocolates. Vanini, Italian maker, white chocolate from Vanini, a milk chocolate, 39% cocoa count, and a dark chocolate, 70% cocoa count. And let's see how these 3 different chocolates pair with Swedish dark lager or a Spanish Priorat red wine. It is hard to taste chocolate with beverages. Not all beverages work. There's one beverage that works all the time, and that is actually coffee. Hot beverages are better because they melt the chocolate and they mix in a lot faster, and therefore might create a better sensation or a better feel or better taste, or you even could get suggested that it works better. But flavor-wise, it is usually like, serving a dessert. Every cook learns the basics. The drink should be sweeter than the pudding. Ergo, you have to have a wine or a beer or a rum or a whiskey or a dessert wine that is sweeter than the chocolate you are serving. That said, everyone's palate is different. Not everyone likes red wine and dark chocolate. Not everyone likes white chocolate and sweet wine. But all I can say, you have to try and find out what you like. And this is an example of what you can do. It's very easy. You buy 3 different chocolates. They don't have to be expensive. You can buy 1-piece chocolates like this, and you take the beverages you have at home and you just try it and see if, well, I like that, no, I didn't like that. So if there's something you like, present it to your friends for the next dinner party. That's no problem. And if they don't like it, who cares? You didn't make the beverage and you didn't make the chocolate. And everyone has a different palate. So let's get on with the tasting. First of all, Vanini Bianco. A white chocolate. White chocolate is, as you know, cocoa butter, vanilla and sugar. There are no cocoa mass in white chocolate, really. There are lots of cocoa butter, so it's a lot of fat in a white chocolate. And the sugar makes it, and the vanilla makes always this quite wonderful but overbearing sweet sensation on the nose. Yes, it smells like white chocolate. Very distinct white chocolate smell. Lots of vanilla. Lots of sugar. And since you're not allowed to have too much other vegetable fats in chocolate, you cannot say that it's palm oil or seed oil or any kind of other vegetable oil. So it's cocoa butter. And it smells like this all the time. Well, candy smell. And if you break off a piece and taste it, white chocolate is usually extremely sweet. I'm a candy man, yes, I like candy, I like all types of candy, but white chocolate is a little bit too much for me, a little bit too sweet. This one has a very creamy start and a creamy mid palate, and a slightly dry end with lots of vanilla and lots of sugar on the mouth. Perfect for coating cookies and things like that. I use it when I do a big chocolate cake, decorate with some strings of white chocolate. All very decorative and very tasty, actually. So, yeah, on the chocolate scale, I'll give this one a 5. Nice dry ending, lots of cream and initial and mid palate, but it's white chocolate. It's very well made. Sorry, a little bit of Swinglish there. Let's try it with the dark lager. Dark lager is a variety that is a little bit sweeter than a light lager or pils or something like that, but it still has a hoppy bitterness to it, and it's quite stingy and refreshing. Let's take a bit of the white chocolate, and when you taste chocolate and a beverage, the trick is let the chocolate melt into a liquid in your mouth before you take the beverage. The beverage is often cooler than your mouth, so it will chill the chocolate down a bit, so it will go back in a semi-solid form, but then your warmth within your mouth will again melt the chocolate. And what you do when you taste a beverage and chocolate is just let the chocolate melt, put in the other liquid and see if they mix, marry, or if they just don't mix at all, hate each other. Now, a dark lager, as this one, for me, do not mix with white chocolate because it's too strong, too bitter, too, well, you call it, too spicy, really. So it completely drowns the white chocolate's sweet vanilla flavor and kills it. Let's take some white chocolate and try it with a red wine. If you follow the basic cook rule, red wine wouldn't go with white chocolate because you have to have a sweeter wine than the pudding. And for me that's true. This red wine don't go with this white chocolate. I don't think a lot of red wines will go with white chocolate. But if you go into fortified wines or Madeira port wine or sherry-like or other sweet red wines or sweet white wines, it will definitely go better. Just as a basic rule. Everyone has a different palate. Well, let's move on to the 39% cocoa count. A milk chocolate with 39% cocoa. Not that common. It's usually 30, and then milk, sugar, and cocoa butter in a chocolate bar with that kind of cocoa count. But nice, almost cocky color brown. Let's sniff it up or smell it or try to find the scent. Quite a similar smell to the white chocolate with the vanilla and the sugar, but there's some fudge elements here too. It's like you boiled some syrup and some sugar or some milk on the stove for a while, making a fudge or something like that. Caramel. Yes, caramel, that's the word. Slightly dry, so somewhere the cocoa makes its appearance. Well, I'll take a bite, taste just the chocolate. Initially quite sweet, a nutty nuance, nutty taste. On the mid palate, very creamy on the inside of the cheeks, but dry on the tongue. A little bit of a burnt almond component at the end there. Very smooth, long finish. Semi-sweet. This is good milk chocolate. I give this one a 6 out of 10, and let's move on to see if, well, a semi-sweet milk chocolate will mix with a dark lager. Remember, let the chocolate melt in your mouth so it becomes liquid. Liquid and liquid match better than solids and liquid. Definitely a better match, milk chocolate and the dark lager, than white chocolate and the lager. Though, first off, a very good match. Highlighted caramel flavors and some of the hop from the beer, but that fades off and everything turns just into water. So it's not a yippee, this is great. So it's more like, oh, that's okay. Oh, sorry. Water on the finish, that's not good. We want flavor on the finish. Okay? Let's try the chocolate with the red wine. Well, it's not a match made in heaven. In this case, it's the opposite. The chocolate liquid in my mouth and the wine clashes at first. Feels kind of watery, no actual taste whatsoever. Then the wine gets a little bit dominant and takes over, but carries some of the almond and nut flavors of the chocolate into the back end. So the back end is with a spiciness of the, and this is a spicy wine, a good long finish on the wine. It gets a more like a chocolate mocha feeling on the end. So bad start, better end. Well, interesting. Let's move on to the third chocolate, 70% cocoa, beans from Madagascar, Criollo and Trinitario beans, and we do as we always do on the chocolate tasting. We taste the chocolate, and when we do that, we check the color. Quite dark reddish brown. Very nice shine. Vanini is a good maker. Let's take a small piece and, sorry, I have to smell it first. Smells a little bit like dry chocolate powder mix before you stir in the milk. A little bit of heat to it, almost a little bit of a hint of pepper. And that sawdust component that dark chocolate brings. Dry sawdust. Yeah, and some vanilla too, and a slight hint of sugar, but That's normal because there is vanilla and sugar in the chocolate. Okay. Bitter start. Strong chocolate flavor. Extremely strong. Almost like this is not 70% cocoa, it's 85%, but it's 70 actually. Strong cocoa flavor. Red berries on the mid palate with some hints of cinnamon or nutmeg, I'm not sure. Nutmeg, I'd say. And a dry, very dry finish with just dry cocoa. And oh yeah, some wood too. Some cedar box character. This is a nice piece of chocolate to have in your mouth and just savor it and then be satisfied. You don't need to eat 100 grams or 200 grams or something like that. You can eat this piece, it's 5 grams. I don't know what that is in ounces, but hey, the metric system is conquering the United States inch by inch. Okay, let's try it with the dark lager. Meh. It's not awful and it's not good. It's not even interesting. Well, it happens something with the chocolate. It turns a little bit more mocha, more coffee grind than chocolate actually with the lager. Yeah. Yeah, not the worst I had and not the best I had. Let's take another bite and try it with wine. Since this is a chocolate show, we don't split. This was a little bit more interesting. At first, the two liquids don't mix. They block each other out, so it's a little bit watery on the first initial feel, taste, but then they really complement each other. Complement each other into complementary. The dark chocolate gets wrapped around the wine and make the wine actually a little bit more peppery but more full body. And yeah, add some thick floating chocolate to the wine, it will make it more full body, but even more like a really heavy wine. And this is not that a heavy wine, though it is Carignan, Grenache and Cabernet Sauvignon, so it's quite normally heavy grapes, but yeah. No, and the end is hot with chocolate, mocha, dark berries, pepper. Yeah. And the wine disappears first. The chocolate taste lingers a little bit longer. Not a bad combination, but not. Yippee! This is what I'm gonna treat my friends on the next dinner. I've got some other beverages up my sleeve for that. But I won't tell you because this is a chocolate show. Okay, thank you for watching this long episode. Hope to see you next week. Bye.